Alright, thanks for checking out my YouTube video. This video is a VOD review of my ranked reload games from over the weekend. There was a ranked reset recently, I think like a week or two ago. So we're playing, I think it's Diamond games right now, so not Unreal, but the skill level is still pretty decent, I'd say, I don't know. But the intent of these videos is for beginners and newer build players to see the thought process of a ranked, Unreal ranked build player, and especially during my rotates, my end game decision making, hopefully to help improve your game. There's a few specific people in mind I'm making these videos for, but I thought I'd put them out there just for everyone to see in case anyone else is interested. I'm testing out music in this video for the first time, so we'll see how that goes to the couple people that watch. Alright, so this game I'm playing with my buddies, More Hot Dogs and Dan Like Spikes. The other person in all of our games here will be a Phil. Some of them are actually pretty crazy, which is cool, but alright. So I'm going to fast forward during this off spawn section here now that I kind of opened up the video. So you guys don't have to see me just loot here and waste time. I'll go back to normal speed during fights and towards the end game. Yeah, I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone that watched the Global Championship enjoyed it. I was a little disappointed that the NA teams fell over, but what can you do? I was happy to see Kanata do well. And I just watched a Cypher PK video about Fortnite dying. That also kind of wasn't probably the best thing to watch before doing this, but what can you do? Alright, so I'm trying to stack out my loadout. I don't know why I said it that way, but I have an SMG in my third slot right now. Usually I carry mobility in that slot, so we'll see if that happens. Alright, so I see a guy here start taking shots. I'm going to slow it down a little. It looks like that might have been a bot. Alright. Yeah, so I'm a decent player. I'm not like a crazy player or anything. I'm not that good, but I think that I have some skills that I can pass on to newer players, so that's why I'm making these videos. I really enjoy playing Fortnite, and I think it's a really popular game, and I think there's always new people stepping up trying to play, and the meta is always different, so we'll see. Hopefully some people start watching the videos. I'm 39 years old, and I play on PS5 on a DualSense Edge controller, 120 frames. I don't really play tournaments very much. I mostly play ranked games and creative. But I think anyone can get to Unreal if you grind, and if you grind and you learn and you're willing to learn and improve. If you have any questions about how to improve any specific things, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Alright, so that was just a pretty standard fight. I'm not even going to rewind it. Looks like I got cleaned up by his teammate. Yeah, we're still in the early game here, so I'm not going to play full speed yet, or this video would be an hour long. I mean, it's probably going to be a longer one already because I got 4 end games to go over. We'll see. I might split it into 2. Alright, so I come back with my assault. In the last video I discussed this, how sometimes you're in a situation where you come back off spawn with a gray assault and you just push a fight and try and get loot real quick. It's not always the best decision, but if you have teammates alive near you, it's really not going to be the worst, especially if you're edge zone like this and you know there's probably not going to be a third party coming. So that's why I just went, and I didn't really fear of dying there. I just sprayed the wall until I got him. Alright, so now we're working on our rotates. I typically like to be the decision maker for rotates, but that doesn't really matter in mid game. That stuff starts to take over a little bit more in end game, you'll see, where I start to make calls and try and lock my teammates on following as best as I can. Alright, so right now we're looking pretty good. My mats aren't the best. 400 brick is decent, but I need to farm some metal, or actually we don't really farm too much. Mostly try and get it through fighting. Alright, looks like we got a fight here coming up, so I'm going to slow it down. We'll see how it plays out. I don't really remember. Alright, I immediately reboxed the kill. This is an important thing to do. He did get out, but the idea was to rebox the kill so that I can check his mats and do what I need to do without fear of getting shot by someone far away. Um, this is an easy thing to do, but it's something that a lot of newer players don't do. They just kill someone and get excited and go for the body right away. You need to box up. You need to protect yourself. Play a little bit defensively. Unlock the skills that you need to fight and win fights, and then you can start keying the lobbies. But until then, I recommend playing a little bit defensively. Alright, so just going to farm a little bit. Teammate's still close. We're waiting here to see where zone pulls before I make a call for rotate. And we're just looking for some tags, trying to scan the area, and get ourselves ready for in-game. Alright, I'm going to go back to 1.5 here. Alright, so zone pulled, and we're rotating. I'm leading the pack a little bit, probably further out ahead than I need to be. But when I rotate, I just like to go. I don't typically hold up and wait, because some teammates get distracted and they'll both open chest the whole way, and you'll never get where you want to go. So we're over here at Fossil Fields. This is going to be the in-game spot, it looks like. So we're up on the hill, and this is where I decide to base up towards the edge of this hill here, so we get a kind of a height advantage over this team while we're checking out the area. So I'm marking the players as I see them. My teammates I think they're fighting another person right now, and I'm looking at a different team, so it's kind of hard to say. They could also be looting. Alright, but I got bad intentions right now. I'm trying to get some kills here. Trying to get everyone off our back. Alright, so we just pulled zone here. You can see yellow, that's my teammate Pete, more hot dogs. He's more aggressive than me. He's out here pushing fights and getting ready to end the lobby. So I kind of go out there, back him up, and then I ask him to come back to our spot, which everyone does. So this is where we're based up, kind of on that hill I was saying. This is a good spot for us to be for an end game. So we put a lot of resources in. The XZ Alpha teammate is our Phil, and it looks like he took a solo fight on his own. So it is what it is. Alright, we got 5 more minutes in this. Alright, I'm going to let it play for 1.5, a little bit more, and then I'll slow it down when we really get into an end game. Alright, so we're in a wood box here. I know I'm saying something about it, that we should be moving to our brick in case we get triple sprayed or whatever. So yeah, you can see me move back into my brick box. My teammate is in my box looking through my peaks. I don't really love that all the time, like when we're looking from distance, so I make another fresh box for myself out of brick. I think it's worth the investment in the brick for the safety here, and we pulled again, which is awesome for us. At this point, I'd say it'd be a sell for us to lose this game since we keep pulling all these zones. We have good mats and really great loot. Alright, so you can see I'm going to go back a little bit here. Sorry, I know it's kind of annoying, but I'm going to go back here a little bit. When I build these boxes here, I'm building them protected, which is what I want to point out right here. I open, and then I build the walls up, and then I build the ceiling up. So if anyone's looking at me while I'm doing that, it's going to be hard for them to make contact on me. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be harder than if you're just cranking out in the open. So something you want to do in your end game, if you're building like a tower here, you definitely want to try and build protective 90s. That's what they call them. Alright, so I'm just expanding our space here, which is something you want to do in end-game fights. Really, any fights at any point in the game, you want to have as much space as you can to move through in case you're getting pushed by 2 guys. Whatever the situation, having more space is better. More of your own builds. Alright, so we're just looking around the lobby trying to get tags on everyone that has to come towards us. Always looking around, checking every direction. I see a guy down here. My teammates aren't really looking at me. If you could see in the minimap, they're still kind of looking towards that side, and I see that. I'm conscious of that when I'm shooting down here, so I don't push the solo. If I was playing a solo game and I saw that guy there, I probably would, and probably would lead me to die to a third party. So sometimes it's not always worth to just push the easy fight. It's worth it to stick with your teammates. Alright, so I'm looking at the next rotate now. Hopefully someone here has a pad. That's probably what I'm asking right now, and I'm going to build a structure for us to launch off of. My buddy Pete has a pad, I kind of remember now, and he throws it under the staircase, so I'm kind of asking him to throw another pad at the edge of the launch area, and he does. So here we go. Alright, so boxing up with metal immediately, just protecting ourselves. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to build one box here since we're not in. Once we get in, I'm going to build a few more boxes, as many as I can. Not fully wasting all my mats, but as many as I can to keep us safe. Alright, so I'm calling for a safe rotate here along the edge. Dan's not really with us at the moment, but it is what it is. I still got Pete and Alpha on me. So we're looking for tags while we're rotating, which isn't always the best thing to do. Usually when you're rotating, you should rotate, especially at this level. You shouldn't really be focused on damage, but that's fine. Alright, so I got really low mats right now. I got, what, 20 builds? Now 10 builds. We're in a kind of a weak box. Not the worst, but I get beamed. That guy instantly takes the wall one shot and hits me before I see him. I'm able to land the headshot on him, which is cool, but I really kind of did poorly in that fight right there. Alright, so I'm healing up. Alpha just came back. He's weak. We gotta rotate. Storm's on our butt. Sorry. Here we go. Alright, I get beamed from the guy rotating from above and get put down. It wasn't really a smart play on my part, but I didn't really have any mats, so whatever. Pete's being a good team player for me here and trying to get me up, which he does, but you'll see it doesn't really work out. I get beamed through the bush. I tell them to keep going, don't worry about my body, and they do. There's only probably one other team left right at this point, so I trust my fraggers to frag at this point. I did my job and I got us to the end game. It's up to them to finish it. I mean, not really, but you know, that's kind of how I feel with Pete in my games. He's a crazy fighter, and I know I can rely on him hitting the shots when it counts, and as long as I get us there, he'll do what it takes, you know, that kind of thing. Alright, so we get the first win there. It was a pretty nice game. Alright, we're gonna go on to this one. I'm gonna speed it up. Alright, this dude on our teammate this time, Kronk, is crazy. He frags out for us. Yeah, it's always nice having a guy like that on the team who just is an absolute crazy player. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Alright, nobody picked a spot, so we're going to Lumberjack, which is cool. I don't really like landing center map and reload. I do it when my teammates want to, but it's not usually my preference to start the game there. Off spawn, I'm usually a pretty good fighter, but if there's 10 teams landing there, there's so many people, it doesn't really matter how good you are unless you're actually crazy, which I'm not. So typically I try to land in a little bit slower of a POI. Alright, that guy tried to 50-50 me. I hit the headshot, which was nice. Alright, so I got a purple pump here, which is god loot for me. Alright, so the teammates are all sticking together, which is cool off spawn. The one dude, Kronk, I think is pushing fights, which is, you know, cool. I'm always down with being a little bit aggressive off spawn once you get loot. I have this Spire rifle, which I don't think I hit anybody with. I'm just not skilled with this rifle at all. Yeah. So I decided not to push with Kronk. I'm going back to my teammates here, because if I went and split, we'd be, you know, 2v4 with Kronk, versus this situation would be 3v1 or 3v4. So yeah, he did die. I don't know, I probably could have stayed with him there and tried to help him, but I don't typically like to push fights away from my teammates without making calls and deciding to together like that in a squad game. He was a fill, so he did what he was doing, which is totally fine. I'm just giving my rationale for not chasing him and going to the fight with him. Alright, so Kronk is back. He's ready to go get his loot back from them. We're supporting him from the sides. He gets beamed again. I guess one takeaway here, no matter how skilled you are mechanically and how many, kills you get, if you play stupid, it's not really gonna help your team. Um, and Kronk dies a lot here. Us playing smart, staying alive, kind of keeps us forward and moving through this game and reaching an end game. But yeah, it's not everyone's style. Alright, so we're gonna hit the fizz pad, which is the best mobility I think in the game right now. I guess there's also the purple pads too. Fizz on those sends you like super high into the air, but the fizz pad is a great mobility for a squad of players in an end game. Your IGL should have your pads, as you saw in the last game. Pete made a joke about it, so I feel okay making a joke about it, that he's not gonna be the pad carrier anymore. So yeah, the guy who makes your decisions in end games should be the one carrying the pads, and your teammate should be the one editing the walls to open for you to throw the pad down, that kind of stuff, if you're trying to be coordinated together, which is the best way to play. Alright, so Kronk's taking a fight on his own. We're calling for a rotate over here. We're just going to do our thing. This is going to be a theme in our games, is we're not going to let the field dictate our gameplay. Alright, so I'm over here on this slurp truck that I don't really need. I think they were just fighting a bot. So I'm just watching their back while they rotate towards me, making sure they're not going to get hit, and if they do, I'm going to shoot back. Alright, so we're getting closer towards the mid-end game here, which is cool. So I'm saying we probably should move at this point. Even though zone hasn't really pulled, it's good to rotate. We've been sitting in this spot a little bit too long without doing anything. So we're just going to go loot up and get a move on. I lied, I guess. I guess we're going to sit here for a little bit longer and waste time. Alright, here we go. Now there's people pushing us from behind on the other side of the bridge. I let my teammates know by danger marking it and saying something to them vocally. Alright, shot the pad out so the teammates can't reuse the pad, and now we're just going to spray this guy. Yeah, he beamed me there. Hit some great shots. I'm trying to stay on the right hand here. I don't really have eyes on him. This guy's got crazy aim. Yep, got beamed again real hard. So I'm losing this fight. I built myself a little protective area to heal from. Grab the med kit someone threw. Just trying to survive here. All three of my teammates that I'm speaking to are all together, which is helpful here. So we're able to survive this together. I think I'm calling for rotate now. And we just get obliterated. I think it's like a minigun or one of those mythic guns. I'm not really sure what it was, but it just got me through the wall. I'm on 50 to 60 ping because we're playing on Central. My buddies live on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast, so we play Central. And it doesn't always work out when you're getting sprayed like that. Bullets do bleed. Alright, so Pete's still alive. Never mind. So Kronk's still alive here. Let's see if he carries us. Yeah, that was a crazy play right there. Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna speed it up, sorry. Oh, I just sped up. Okay, so I had a reboot, so I'm starting my looting again fresh, which is something that happens in reload and honestly in regular battle royale. I know I have to rotate, but I have nothing. I'm not able to fight without a shotgun, so I get one, and this fight doesn't work out for me. I guess he saw my edit and just popped me. It was probably not the best play for me to edit there. I could have done some other things that might have been better, but at the end of the day, sometimes the other guy's better, right? So yeah, you can see Kronk just absolutely going crazy here. I think he ends up with a ton of kills. Yep. Alright, and I'm back. So back to watching a normal player. Not the best. Alright, here we go. So I'm rotating all the way across the zone to dead side. Dead side is where the zone opens to. So basically this part was recently in the zone, so I know nobody's going to be here. So that's dead side. That's not always the case for what dead side means. It usually means the side where nobody's going to be, but it's not always because of the storm. In this case, that's what it is. Alright, so I'm just, doing what I can with my gray assault, trying to heal a little bit and rotate. This blue water would have healed me if I stayed there, but it's just not worth it. It takes forever. Better off looting, trying to find some stuff, which worked out for me. I got a decent shotgun. I don't mind the tack as much as some players. When I started playing in Chapter 2, the tack was pretty good, so I didn't always just use the pump back then, so I think some of those skills carried over. Alright, so I see this guy in the bush. I call my teammates and let them know, and I make a decision here to go get him. If he's hiding in a bush, he's probably not the strongest. I think P picked up one while I picked up that guy, which is not even the biggest refresh for me. If you can see, I got siphon mats there, maybe a little bit more than siphon there. I'm pretty weak still here. I'm running towards Pete. Now we're in the same box together, how it should be in an end game. And I call for rotate out. I think he goes the other way, but yeah, I'm always trying to stay front zone. Something you should do too. Always stay front zone. Use boxes, build boxes when you get front. Look back, and then look forward before you rotate to scout. So here I see this guy. I think this might have been the guy that pumped me. No, it's a different guy. I get him, but he heavily damages me. So I gotta take a minute here and heal. I'm gonna slow it down for the end game. Oh, my bad. All right. So I make the rotate here. I didn't even take my minis yet. I just need to get in. That's how I play. I like to be in zone at the end of the game here. Catch my breath from my safety in my box. Get my teammates together. Now we're rotating together. I drop a big med kit for Kronk, but I think he's got a siphon or something anyways. Alright, so I'm saying we gotta rotate. I think I call for a pad here. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Oh no. So I hit a shot on him, but he hits a headshot on me, and I think Dan cleans him up. So yeah, it was a decent game. Not as good as the first one, but still pretty solid end game with all our teammates playing together, which is really what I want to see. All right, here we go. This is game 3 from yesterday. We got a little map variety here too, and once again, Wizard here is going to be our fill. Yes, once again, a lot of players like dropping tilted on this map. Pretty much when I play fills, every time they want to drop tilted, but here we're able to get ourselves a nice loadout before we start engaging in fights, and that's how I like to play. Alright. I'm not really a infantry rifle or whatever that gun is a user on a controller. Just it's not as easy to hit shots with, I think, as it is on mouse and keyboard. I don't know, but I'm going for damage here off spawn, trying to get a few kills before I start to loot. So at this point, I should be looting right now. I do kind of drag this on a little bit longer than it needs to be. Alright, so here we go. I'm getting my loot. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Alright, my teammates rotated out on a pad. I was a little bit annoyed at this, I'm not gonna lie. My whole team just fully left to a different part of the map instantly, into a fight, I didn't have a shotgun, I wasn't really ready, so I'm kind of just running around here with my head cut off, with a chicken, like a chicken with its head cut off, looking for stuff. So I found the gatekeeper, which was nice. I'm ready to go. I just don't love following our fill, and that's kind of what's happening here, so that was a little bit annoying, but I shouldn't really be getting annoyed when I'm playing Fortnite, it's just for fun anyways, right? So I'm trying to get connected towards my teammates. Took a bit of damage from not a third party, but a teammate behind us. So I know there's another team approaching us. Fully boxing up. I should be taking my bigs, but I'm looking for kills. Yeah, which is a mistake. I should have just healed. And I got clapped on deservedly. Whole team's dead, so Pete's waiting for a reboot. One of us should have marked a spot to go to, but I don't know. The vibes, they were good, but they weren't. I mean, we had all just died there, so I think, you know, my controller disconnected. I've been having some issues with the connection from the cable to the controller for a few weeks now, so I unplugged it after that, and I played it wirelessly, Bluetooth, which is really not ideal, but it was fine after that. Yeah, so Pete was just playing like crazy right there. Had a really nice ramps, whatever you call it, ramp flip, and hit the pump, which is always great to see. Pete's got crazy aim, always hits the pump. Alright, so we're back to looting again. This is not a good game for me. I've been dying more than anything, but my strength is in games, and hopefully we get to one here. But the way I've been playing, I probably don't really deserve it in this game. Alright, I call, someone's on me, in a full box on the outside, so they can't get me through the windows. Now I should take my extra mini, we'll see. Yeah, there I go. Now I'm ready to fight this guy. I 50-50 him through the wall with my assault, which just, I shouldn't have, you know. It wasn't a good fight for me. This game was just not my game. I was just taking bad fights, not hitting my shots. But fortunately, Pete was, and he kind of carried us this time. Alright, so that's my buddy Dan. Looks like he rebooted into a tree, but he's got his stuff, he's chilling. I like to reboot and go back and storm a little bit so that people can't shoot me out of the air when possible. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So I'm looking for my loot. I need my gatekeeper at least from when I died, and there it is. I got nothing. I got 1 kill and like 3 deaths. Just a bad game. So now I'm gonna farm a little bit and slow it down, because I've been getting my butt kicked. Sometimes when you're getting your butt kicked, the best thing to do is to slow it down. Farm up a little bit, and just get ready for what's coming next. Alright, we pulled zone here after our reboot, which was pretty lucky. He's probably the reason we get to the end game here, pulling this zone, because like I said, this was not my game. So I'm just trying to get my wood up so I have something to defend myself with once people start getting closer, which they will momentarily. Alright, so I'm with the fill right now. I threw him a big, I don't think he saw it. So pick it back up, and I'm gonna go back, wait for my teammates, wait for Pete. I'm not sure where Dan is right now, he's not even on the mini map, but he's probably just looting or something. Probably should have just stayed on that body, but it's fine. I was just trying to use the hill for coverage there a little bit. Reboxing, because there's several teams here now. Yeah, and we're about to enter the end game here. Just scouting the area right now, seeing where everyone's at. We're still in the center of the zone. Dropping a big for my teammates. We're not really focused on any one team right now, which isn't the best thing. We should all be locked in on one team and spraying them. Someone pushed us. We cleaned them up. Alright. I'm gonna slow it down to full normal speed for this this end game and these rotations here. So I got pads, which is cool. I love having pads in end game. I mentioned that earlier in the video. Alright, so I'm gonna make a tower here. The goal is for my teammates to come up here with me and for us to shoot together before we rotate and then rotate from up there. But I don't really communicate this as clearly as I could. The Phil is there. I guess he's asking me for heals, but I don't really got much for him. I guess I have a med kit, but I honestly didn't see the cross above his head until now. Alright, so I'm way above right now. I'm taking shots. I could probably have kept spraying that guy, but nobody's with me right now. And also, I didn't really scout the area before I started shooting him. I don't know where the mammoths are, because everyone has mammoths. With the shot there, probably should have taken care of that guy there, but someone cleans him up. One of our teammates gets him, I think. Yeah. Alright, time to rotate. I call it, I build the ramp out, and then boom, we're in the air. I'm not sure if Pete actually hit the pad or not, if he went back for it. Looking at him on the minimap now, looks like he's still in zone with Dan. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, he's rebooting Dan in zone. Alright, I got the other teammate on me though, and looks like we're fighting a little bit here. Alright, I think right now I'm saying we need to pad again, you guys need to get to us. Controller dies again. I guess this is where I finally remove the cord and throw it on the ground and play unplugged for the rest of the day. Alright, so Pete and Dan are still getting their stuff together after reviving Dan. I take care of this guy with my assault, just running out in the open, 50-50 like a drone. I probably should have just peeked and shot him with my shotgun, but alright, I see the guy in the bush. I see bullets coming from the bush or going towards the bush. Either way, I mark it so my teammates know. I call for the rotate, and now I'm double ramping up. I had the intentions here of trying to play high ground, but I didn't really have the hard mats to make it work, and I don't think my teammates did either, so we decided to pad and just rotate that way. Alright, so we got to keep going in. I'm calling for it now. Let my teammates know we got to keep going. Building boxes. And we're all together here pretty much. I'm just looking back for a shot in case someone hops into this box. You have no idea how much that actually happens. Works out a lot where if you leave like a spot open like that, someone will sneak in there and you can just clip them easily. Alright, so zone pulls. Yep, I look at it now. I'm looking at zone. Shouldn't be crouching here, but I am. Alright. Hit a little shot on him, flying over. Pad probably wasn't necessary here, but it's fine. So I'm taking height against this guy. Now I drop down to fight him, which is probably something I shouldn't do. And we clean up. So in the end, it wasn't the worst game from me, but for the first 10 minutes of that game, I was just awful. But, you know, sometimes that happens, and you can rely on your teammates to carry you through. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Alright, we got 2 more videos here. I'm just going to power through here and do all 4 of them rather than splitting the videos up, because I feel like kind of vibing here. Alright, so teammates already marked the drop, which is awesome. It's always cool when teammates are working together and not deciding while you're in the air where you're going. I'm just gonna scan to see how long it takes for us to get into a fight, because I don't really want to watch us looting too much. Alright, I skipped the first part of this game, which is fine. I think you probably know how to loot and stuff, but I guess if you need help with that kind of content, like off spawns too, if you want help with off spawns, I could do a video about those too. It's not really my strength, but my aim is decent enough, my shotgun aim, that I usually am able to let that carry me. Alright, I'm letting my teammates know there's dudes. No one's really with me, as I see on the map now, so I'm gonna go and support my teammates and shoot back. Alright, time for us to rotate into tilted. I was starting to get shot at, so I fully insta-box like that. You have to be able to do that. There I was trying to get in the box, but one of my teammates was editing. I'm gonna actually replay that little part there, because this stuff happens all the time in your games. Alright, so I see the guy, I mark him, I start taking shots at him. I get beamed. I full box, which is where I was saying you need that skill to be able to full box. Now I'm trying to get in this box. Someone resets the wall behind me, and I almost die. But that stuff happens. It's not like, you know, it was on purpose or anything. And we were fully able to get back to full health, and on we go. I'm ready to go get that guy with the charge shot. Charge isn't really my shotgun. I mean, it's nice when you hit a charge shot on someone's head. It feels great, but it's not really my strong suit. Sitting in the box holding the shotgun. In end games it can be, but like in this phase of the game, mid game, where we're just trying to get kills, the charge shotgun really isn't my thing. Yeah, so I get dropped down there and hit. I whiff my shot. I should have just rebuilt my walls, honestly. Looking at this now, I should have just reboxed, but you know, Pete's trying to take care of him from tilted, I guess. Alright, I go right into the fire. I've been saying in my videos, sometimes you do this and it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I get the nice tack. I put a little bit of work on this guy, but I'm in a 1v4 here without really being prepared for that, so I get him. I'm able to rebox, but the teammate finally gets me. Was it worth it for me? Not really. I mean, I put up a ton of damage on that team and wasted some of the resources, but now I'm rebooting again and my teammates are all weak. So, I mean, I don't know if that play's ever really worth it. Sometimes it works, but I don't know if it's really ever the smart play. So right now I'm watching the teammate, the Phil right now, who's just fully in the wrong spot, but it's fine. Try to get to edge. Not really caring at the moment where my teammates are. Just trying to figure out some loot. And I get pushed here and probably die since I'm alone again. This is more of a gameplay video of what not to do. So right now I'm sitting in the cone trying to figure out where the dude's at. He's right here, I guess. Trying to find him. I think he's on the outside, yeah. Just trying to box fight here. I got Pete on my back, which is cool. We're gonna fight together here. Oh, I didn't see him. Alright, rebooting again, another bad game for me. I guess my gameplay tip would be to have great teammates. I kind of droned out a little bit, but I think I get it together here in the end game. Hopefully, we'll see. Landed on a shotgun. Always try and land on a shotgun when you can. I have decent loot for 10 seconds after rebooting. Morale is probably a little bit low right now for me because I'm playing poorly, but I'm back in it. Jumping and sliding like that, I recommend moving that way when you're running across the map in open space. It makes it harder for you to hit, and that's really the benefit, but also having and practicing good movement also comes in handy during fights. Alright, so I found this honey pot over here, all the loot I need. I missed the fizz somehow, but I'm just focused on rotating here. So I built this hard map box right next to this team. I know they're there, but I'm willing to invest all my material here if I have to, if they start spraying me, to get in here. So I built the box. Actually, I'm going to go back and slow that down a little bit. So I built the hard map box on the outside, like through a peak like that, so that if they started spraying me, I was somewhat covered. It would be better if I did it through a window rather than that bottom square edit that I did. But alright, so right now we're box fighting, holding the wall. I don't have a ton of mats, but they don't really know that, you know. Pete and I are playing a little bit passively. I've been getting my butt kicked all game. Alright, so we're all together. Dan's about to reboot. Alright, pulled max, so I'm getting my pad ready. I think I'm calling to see if anyone has fizz or berries. The answer was no, but the pads, which is good. Oh no, actually the answer might have been yes. So we're gonna fizz pad here. Dan, I guess, I don't know if he just rebooted in that way or if he rotated early, but yeah, doing a fizz pad from here, you're gonna take damage. I was lucky not to die from that. Very lucky not to die from that, but fortunately I have enough heals here to get myself back in the game without selling again. So it looks like my teammate Soba Block was able to benefit from my spray there. That's always better to have that stuff rather than medkits for endgames for that situation. So I'm fully healthy now. I have attack. I love the normal assault, so I'm okay with the gray assault, but I obviously would prefer a better rarity, but whatever. Alright, so I'm in a tree right now, which is not how I usually play, but I have a great angle on the incoming rotators, players, whatever. So I'm going to stay up here and take as many beams as I can before dropping down. Miss a lot of shots. I'm able to drop down with ramps going down, so that it protected my fall and I didn't take any fall damage. I scuffed my edit trying to get into that box, like, oh my gosh, it's hard to watch now, a few times, but we're good. I think I droned out again there, didn't realize that guy wasn't on our team, but I get him in the end. So there's only a few guys left here. It's hard to see anything with that green mist. It's a 3v1 now. I think we call it out, so we're all just kind of spraying at this point. Heading for 70. Alright, that wasn't my best game. We ended up getting the win, but probably not deservedly. Thanks for watching the video.